Good afternoon. Happy Friday, Miami sports fans. Welcome back to the Miami Sports Break. David Eversole joined as always by Jaccare Givens. It's been a crazy week inside the world of sports, outside the world of sports. A lot going on in the world, obviously more important than what we're talking about here today in Miami sports. But, as the name of the show implies, we are the Miami Sports Break. Just wanted to give you a little pause on all the other stuff going on in the world and talk a little bit of Miami sports today. What's going on, Jock?
Not much, man. Just living day by day. I mean, I know it's a lot of more serious things going on in the world. Obviously, the stuff at Capitol Hill was pretty tragic. Bad look for America, no matter what side you're on. So I just hope we all and pray that everything gets better and let's have a better 2021 than we had in 2020.
Yeah, exactly. Off to a rough start, but there's plenty of time ahead to get things right, and let's just be good to one another. I think that's the main thing we can all just take away from
Yeah,
this.
no matter no matter the race or ethnicity, it doesn't matter, man. Just be good to
Exactly.
one another. That's the basis of life. Treat others how you want to be treated.
Yeah, we're all one race, the human race. What's up, Cat for Life? Thanks for being with us today. So, going to start out a lot of chatter on Twitter, particularly about Deshaun Watson situation in Houston. Obviously, a familiar partner with the Miami Dolphins in terms of making deals with the former GM and head coach Bill O'Brien. So, again, there's been rumblings that Deshaun Watson is unhappy there in Houston. And there's been a lot of talk on the Miami Dolphins Twitter feed and everything like that. Should they take a run at Deshaun Watson, give up the mortgage, the farm, all these draft picks, and give up on Tua after 1 year for Deshaun Watson? I want to get your take on this because I think we kind of have a similar philosophy on this. Whether it's banking on potential versus banking on a sure thing, which Deshaun Watson, at age 25, is already one of the top five quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
Correct.
Whereas Tua has the potential to be a top five quarterback, but that's the key word, potential. It's all hypothetical right now. So do you revisit Houston? You've got all those draft picks that they gave you. Do you return the favor and try to make a run at Deshaun Watson? Josh,
You got it.
break.
We here?
Yeah, there you broke up for a minute. All right, go ahead.
I'm not saying you have to go with the no. We know what he is right now. And if
Mhm.
it's only going to take the third pick in the draft, the 18th pick, and the first round pick next year, which is three, and then probably 2 second round picks plus two, or why not? You're going to get a top five quarterback who's already established, and his ceiling is not even. He's not even reached his ceiling yet. He's just playing out of his mind with less talent than he had. Um, I just think that's a great move for Miami. If you mortgage him, just think about this. With that defense that we had this year, and we had Deshaun Watson right now, we will probably go to the AFC Championship. It'll be a toss-up against the Chiefs, obviously, but I would give Flores and Watson a chance against anyone. It'll be a better culture for him.
Who's he going to throw
Um,
the ball to, though? That's the problem. You got very little draft capital left to get anybody. I'm all
I
for
mean,
it.
but
What
you,
you're
but you just you just signed free agents. You just signed free agents. You can get Nelson Aguilar, Allen Robinson. You still have Devontae Parker, Preston Williams. You just have a better quarterback, so it's whatever. Like I love Tua, and people who know me know I love him. But Deshaun Watson is a surefire thing, and I can't get over just the just what he would be to the team. Just the things he could do. He's just amazing, man. Dabo Sweeney said it best. He's Michael Jordan, and if you watch him on film, and I've seen this on all 22 last year, just the stuff he was doing with that talent he had, he's amazing. And I just think mortgage the future because you're gonna always be picking with Deshaun Watson in the 29 through 32 range all the time because
put you right up near the top of the AFC just like that without any new weapons.
what
And I
what
don't think
what
those guys
new
outside of
listen though, the Dolphins went 10-6 without him. So imagine with him. He went if you look at Houston's games, tell me what game were they out of without him. They got blowed out probably once or twice. But with him, they were in every game this season. That defense was just so bad. Obviously, they're gonna give up a lot of
right.
points. So it looked bad worse than what it was. But Deshaun Watson has at least 3 wins to Miami right now. So that's 13-3, and we will be in the playoffs, no doubt. I think yes, he puts Miami at the top of the AFC. It'd be Kansas City, Miami.
So Buffalo, we jump right over Buffalo. That's it.
Jump right
He puts
over
us right over
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Right over Buffalo because you had a better quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I'm all for giving Tua a chance, and I'm also all for exploring the Deshaun Watson option because to get a top five quarterback in his prime, and the contract isn't that ridiculous. I think the market has kind of taken another step up since his contract. So you've got a lot of upside with making that deal. It just has to be what you're giving up in return. I would love to be able to keep one of those first or second round picks
So
this year or next year.
I will say this: the third pick is gone, so we can salvage that. So if I'm the Dolphins, I would do this: Tua, the third pick this year, my first next year, and 2 second-round picks this year, and then maybe another first in 2024. 2023, 2020, no, 2022, 2023. So giving up your first round picks back-to-back years plus the third pick this year, plus plus a second-round pick and a second next year, I think that's enough.
Look at this question. Think of it like I would rather trade Tua than X, to be honest with you. I think he's more valuable. Like if you get Watson, obviously in return, because
Yeah,
you're
if you
not getting a quarterback on his
yeah,
level in
no.
return. So you got your quarterback and you've got Howard. Whereas if you go with Howard, you've got not so much
Nah,
there.
you won't.
You can't do that really.
It wouldn't make any sense if you're trading for Deshaun Watson. Like, why would you keep Tua? What are we gonna do with him? Maybe you can swing him for a draft pick, but nah, man, you might as well just send him in a deal. They're getting a young quarterback plus draft capital, and you're getting Watson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I liken this back. I know we said on this to the Tyler Hero, James Harden dynamic. People are so hesitant to give up on Tyler Hero, which I understand. He's a very high upside player, but his
He's not gonna be
upside
no. He's
isn't
not
what James
gonna be
Harden is
no.
right now.
He ain't
He's not
gonna
going to be as
be
good
no
as James
James.
Harden.
Ever. James Harden is a talented guy, man, and people don't understand how talented he is until y'all see him on another team. Obviously, in Houston, he's out of shape because he doesn't care anymore. But give me a dedicated James Harden to the Miami culture. Miami's gonna win. They will win the NBA championship. Last year, they would have won the NBA championship.
Yeah. And I kind of agree with this too. I mean, I don't know if they're in or not in the Watson sweepstakes. I think they're going to do their due diligence at the very least to maybe see what it would take. But the Dolphins regime is very high on Tua. You're not going to invest a number 5 pick in the draft with Justin Herbert sitting there. Obviously, you thought Tua was your guy. So do you run it
No,
back? But
he is your guy, but I don't see him
right now,
being.
he's your guy.
He's not better than Deshaun Watson.
But
That, that that's
that was before Deshaun Watson was a possibility. Even
yeah.
Deshaun Watson wasn't on the radar last year, or you might have pulled the
I
trigger
I
last year.
I
What you
I,
had,
I truly believe if Watson would have been disgruntled 2 years ago when Miami made that trade with Tonsil, I believe Miami would have traded Tonsil, Kenny Stills, draft picks, swap picks for
definitely,
Deshaun Watson.
yeah, I agree, and I think he puts you over the top. And is Tua's upside what Deshaun Watson's is? Right? I mean, is his ceiling Deshaun Watson Tua?
No,
That's a question that
Tua
could be asked also.
Tua is a different quarterback. Deshaun Watson just, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, and it's gonna be a hot take, and they can take it how it was. You can put Deshaun Watson up in Kansas City, you'll be getting the same results that you get with Patrick Mahomes. Period. The only difference is Watson has a stronger. I mean, not Watson. Mahomes has a stronger arm than Deshaun Watson. But if you watch them play, they do the same thing. You
Very
put
similar
Deshaun,
style, yeah.
you put Deshaun Watson in Kansas City, it's the same results. They win championship after champ. Like they're gonna be contenders for a very long time. And him and Mahomes are not that far apart. Obviously, Mahomes is better, but him and Watson is 1A, 1B are going to be as the under 25 quarterbacks in the league easily. They're 1A, 1B. It's just to determine who you want. And we can't really judge Watson because he hasn't been playing with anybody for the last couple of years.
And that's a good point. I think, like you mentioned earlier in the show, Watson elevated the roster around him, with which I agree. I think they would have probably won maybe a game or two with Watson with this exact same offense. This is probably a 12-win team in Miami with Deshaun Watson under center. So I don't think there's a wrong answer either way. Listen, if you stick with Tua, you ride
You
out this
got
draft
you
pick, you
got
get a
you got you
Devontae
got
Smith
you just got to
or
get the
Waddle,
weapons. Waddle,
you
Devontae.
go.
He just have to get weapons. And once you get the weapons, then hey, if he's not playing well, then hey, let's explore the options. But he's gonna play well, obviously, because like I said, a number one receiver means just as much to a team as a quarterback does.
Yeah, I mean, I just think Miami should explore all options, and if it's not feasible, and if they're not comfortable with what they have to give up, then you just move on. And so, probably not with close to Steve Young. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, he's got that Steve Young, Drew Brees upside. He's
Yeah,
got the
but
upside to win. He's a
listen,
winning
listen,
player.
listen, listen, listen. This is what it comes down to. It's about what you know and not what you think. What we know is Deshaun Watson is a top 5 quarterback right now on a very bad Texans team. Who you heard the audio of JJ Watt saying, "Hey, we wasted one of your good years." Then what we think about Tua. We think he can be Steve Young, and I have the utmost faith in Tua. I think he's a great guy, but he's a great player. He's going to be a great
Hmm.
player, but he's not going to be what Deshaun Watson is. You watch Deshaun Watson, his whole time since he's been playing football at the level that you can watch him at Clemson, he beat the Alabama team he wasn't supposed to beat. You watched the game the year before. The only thing stopped them was the defense of Alabama. But this
Hmm.
guy is amazing. He's elevated Clemson into the national spotlight.
Right.
And he's helped Clemson continue that quarterback tradition, if you want to be honest. He started it. He's helped guys like Lamar Jackson become a prominent thing. Like
Hmm.
Deshaun Watson has helped a lot of guys be great. And look at him with the Texans. He's been consistently good with a bad roster. And then now if you put him on Miami, who has a better culture, a better GM, a better system in place for him to succeed, they're gonna win championships.
Hmm.
So I believe Tua will win a championship too if they give everything he needs. But Deshaun Watson will win us a championship in the next year or two if he was on that team.
Just Watson's ready now, whereas Tua's got to grow into that and develop. But I want to give Tua an off season, obviously, to regain. I think he was. I don't think he's 100%, honestly, physically
Nah,
this year. You
I
don't
I'm
recover from that in that short of a time frame and be 100%
I'm with
totally.
I'm with you. I'm with you on this. If it happens, I'm happy. If it doesn't, I'm happy. Like it's sort of like, hey, whatever, okay. But if they're calling and say, hey, we just want the 18th pick, your first round pick next year, and the pick after the pick the year after that, and a couple of second rounds in the coming years, I'll burn the table down. And another guy you can throw on in there if you want to make a package deal, Parker, Tua, first round pick with the first round 18th pick, first round pick next year, first round pick the year after, in 2 seconds. I think that's something that can happen, and you can add another player into that if you wanted to. A guy that you don't see like a Bobby McCain type guy that you can add into that package. So
Yeah, no, and I'm with this Cap. I agree that you got to give him a year if he's going to be your guy. You've got to get the offensive coordinator figured out, build the offense around him, get him some weapons, a legitimate running game. Still got to make some improvements on defense too. I think that the defense has got to step up a little bit in the pass rush, like we always talk about. Getting that one-on-one guy could use some help in the middle linebacker spot, a true safety in the backfield as well, just to kind of give us some flexibility, maybe move McCain back down in the slot. And I don't know about if we need a bruiser, but I think we need an RB1. Like we've discussed on previous shows, Aaron Jones is the only guy I throw the bag at with the running backs. I don't like to overpay running backs, obviously, free agents, but
I
he's your
don't
guy.
I don't believe in that notion. Oh, you don't have to play running backs. Pay the running backs because they're important to the offense. You look at Derrick Henry, you look at Alvin Kamara, the Dalvin Cooks of the world, to a lesser degree. You look at a guy like Joe Mixon to a lesser degree.
But it
You pay
depends on the
those.
contract, though.
You
I mean,
pay
the
those.
productivity is going to drop when they're 28, 29.
Nah,
It's
I don't believe
inevitable.
you can't say that though, because you look at
Well, I
Adrian
mean,
Peterson. Adrian Peterson had good years. The only thing with running backs is
but
this:
he also took some time
they
off, too. I mean, he's going to
no
hit
the
for a
only
few different reasons.
yeah, but the difference at running back is this: running backs are not getting the ball 30 to 40 times a game anymore. So
Yeah.
you can't.
It's a different
So that
NFL.
yeah. So you just you have to live with it. There's guys in the passing game. Aaron Jones is not going to tote the ball 25, 30 times a game. He's a touches guy. He's going to get 20 carries, probably 10 catches out of the
Him and
backfield.
Gaskin's a nasty backfield too.
Yeah. Hey,
You guys can do a lot.
And I know. Well, he's probably the last of the pure running backs in the league. Like Derrick Henry's probably the last guy you're gonna see at that size that's running
The
like
bell
that.
cow. I mean,
Yeah,
Zeke Elliott. I think his
Zeke.
load is starting to wear down a little bit.
And I'm gonna tell you this: another tricky scenario, a trade scenario that Dolphin fans might love. I will call the Giants to see what they want for Saquon Barkley. I will call the Cowboys to see what they want for Zeke Elliott. Who else? Aaron Jones is another guy for free agency, but it's a few trade scenarios that the Dolphins should explore. And I'm gonna throw another one out there. I will go ahead and call Denver. Say, hey, what do you want for Von Miller?
Really? Oh, that's an interesting one. Maybe get some productivity later in his career from somebody that wants to win, that's done it at a very high level for a long time. I think that's a very interesting pickup, and I think he could probably swing something fairly reasonable for him at this stage of his career.
A second or third round
Right,
pick. I think
and
he
he
has
comes and
like a
gives
year.
you a good season with 8 sacks.
Who's no. He's gonna give you about 12 to 13 in that system.
You think so?
Easy.
Think so? Really? Wow. All right, that's. I would take that in a second. I'd take 10.
No. The Dolphins have to. The Dolphins' first 3 picks should be straight offense, but they should look for some later round talent. I know a
we
lot
need
of
some
fans.
depth in the front seven, especially.
I know a lot of fans like Xavier Collins, the dude from Tulsa. Nick Bolton from Missouri is another guy that they should look at. I wouldn't be shocked if they, take a corner as well, just to see. But I think Miami just needs to focus on the linebacker position, a good safety, and probably a
100.
pass rusher. But this is not a good draft for
bad pass rusher draft.
Yeah, this to me, Miami did it right. Last year they did it right. This year they're gonna do it right again. This is
Look
a
at the board.
loaded.
You gotta look at what's out there.
It's a loaded offensive draft, and you draft what's best in there. So I love Jalen Waddle more because I think Jalen Waddle is Weapon X and he's everything. But if you can get Smith at 3, take him, and then you just double down and get Waddle at 18. And the guy that's lesser. I understand that, but at the same time, if you're picking at pick 18 and Patrick Surtain has fallen to pick 18, you take him.
Yeah, he's an elite, and obviously the connection there would be pretty big. But it's not a pressing need. I definitely agree with that.
But you draft best on board.
There, but he's he's elite. But there's a lot of things that he's not going to. I don't think he makes out of the top 10. Honestly,
nah, he's not going to make it out of the top 10. But
no,
hey, if he's there at 18, I would take him. Because you already had Xavier Howard talks, whatever. But it would.
Well, then you could flip Howard maybe for a high pick. So listen, there's a lot you can do.
Or Byron Jones, you can flip just because Byron Jones' contract is front loaded, so get a. And then always remember, Byron Jones did play safety early on in his career, so that's another choice that he can make.
Yeah. Like we said, you can never. It's a pass happy league. I mean, you're playing a lot of. It's not base defense anymore. You're playing a lot of 5-6 DBs out there. So, and they bring DBs that can also bring some pressure off the edge are good. And you drop McCain down, I think that gives some value.
And Surtain is very well at tackling, so they can run a lot of exotic looks. I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's a pressing need, but
no.
It's not it wouldn't be hurting to add a late round guy or I draft best on board. You can't beat the talent that kid will have. But at 18, I'm looking at Jalen Waddle. The only thing is I think Waddle's going to participate in the combine, so I think he'll be going in the top 10.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, we've got to give Tua a chance. You can't just leave him out there with nothing at this stage in his career. And I also agree with the offensive line. We could use somebody on the interior
Creed Humphrey at center.
That'd be great.
And like I said, I know people are mad, but hey, listen, if you can get Penny Sewell at 3, I'll take him because you have enough capital to trade back up into the top 10.
I can't Jake Long this shit again. I can't do it. I just can't, man. I can't. Laramie Tunsil. I mean, I just can't. Give me Waddle. Give me Devontae Smith, man. That's what I need. I need the sexy pick. I know Sewell's a generational talent. What the hell is a generational left tackle done for the Miami Dolphins?
I mean,
you need a Heisman Trophy winning wide receiver.
I'm gonna be honest with you. and this is gonna sound crazy, but
You always are.
the way football is played now, the offensive lines don't have to be that great because the league is transitioning to what? Mobile guys who can move in the
Quick,
pocket,
yeah.
who don't have to have 6-7 seconds of protection. They can have the 3 to 4. Even the offensive
The
line
Chan Gailey
matters.
playbook.
Yeah,
You got,
offensive line matters. So yes, they do need to draft. Creed Humphrey is the perfect guy,
yeah,
left-handed
interior.
center. Yeah, interior guy, and then you just move on. And Alex Leatherwood, if he falls into the second or
Yeah.
third round, you pick him up. He got
I like
experience at.
And I was gonna say, I like what we saw in flashes out of our three rookies on the O line. So I'm gonna let that group develop some continuity in the offseason and maybe add some depth across the board there just to give you some competition. I think it's just gonna be better and finally not a position of weakness. But we're gonna switch gears a few minutes here to the Heat. It's been a little bit of a rough regular season start after the bubble, obviously, and the success the team had. There's been some concerns on social media from Jimmy Butler and Bam about the effort of the team. Should we be concerned early, or is it just a little bit of that hangover from the postseason? I mean, are there rightful
See,
concerns?
I'm gonna tell you what happened in Miami. We overachieved last season. No matter how you want to cut it, you overachieved. So guys are not at the level they should be. And when you overachieve, it's more expectations. Like Miami has expectations this year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit, and every team they play, which Miami is not playing like, is going to get them their best shot. Like, especially all the teams who beat them in the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
they give them their best shot. So
Yeah,
they're just
Boston,
getting,
Milwaukee, and they
yeah,
got
that
better too. Those teams got
yeah,
better. I mean,
but I'm just saying they're giving you your best shot. It's just equivalent when the people play the Chiefs. You be like, well, this team's supposed to get blowed out, but they play them hard. It was like when Golden State had that stacked team. When people play LeBron James, you get up for that game. So it's no concerns. It's just those teams are playing harder than Miami at this moment. I expect
mm,
Miami to get on. I expect Miami to get on a run probably this upcoming week, just as of the team that called out those guys in their effort. I expect Miami to go on about a
yeah,
3 or 4 game winning streak just to get the tide back turned and then just go ahead. But I think another issue is, and people don't bring this in perspective, the players read too. I think the James Harden thing kind of lingering over the team. If you
yeah.
hear your name in trade rumors, it affects you. Tyler Hero hasn't been the same this season, so that's another thing. So you gotta just keep it up and stuff like that. And I think another thing, people are doubting the loss of Jay Crowder. That was a huge loss, and you kind
Mm.
of see it right now.
Yeah, offensive. We're like the worst offensive rebounding team in the league. We turn the ball over at a really high rate. I think we're third worst in the league in turnovers, which Miami can't kill themselves. Like you said, they overachieved last year. They are a real shout out to Biscayne Bay Brewing, one of our great sponsors here at Five Reasons. That was a real tight knit team, and you're seeing a little bit early kind of frustration, which
You have to think about it though. You had to kind of be tight knit in that bubble. It was just you and your team.
mm-hmm,
So now guys are back to their regular lives. They're not always focused as they should be going into games.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a hangover too. I mean, they played a lot of games. It was a short turnaround to start the regular season again. I think it was, a lot of circumstances kind of went Miami's way in the bubble. They
Hold on,
were a real tight.
I'm about to pull up Miami's the next couple of games right now. Give me 1 second. I got it up right here. So Miami plays the Wizards next, which should be a win. So like I said, I think that they play the Wizards, 76ers again, and Pistons. So
Philly's gonna
and
be
then
tough.
they play the Pistons again. So they're back. That the NBA is running that back to back. So they play the
Yeah,
76ers twice, Pistons twice, Raptors twice, and then they got the Nets twice. So it's kind of we'll see how that goes. I expect Miami to play those teams very hard at that.
yeah. I mean, I think we at least split with Philly and could probably win. 4-1 over that stretch of 5 games would be great to kind of, like you said, right the ship. They just got to hold on to some offensive rebounds. They got to stop turning the ball over a little bit. They got to score better. The
But
offense has
my
been a little bit
but
sluggish. I mean,
Miami
they're
Miami
26th in
has
scoring in the league.
Miami has another problem that people are being blind to. They don't have a true point guard, which
Hmm.
matters. And
Yeah,
like when the
a
offense not,
distributing point guard. I mean,
yeah,
Dragic is score first point guard, and the Kendrick Nunn experience is. I mean, I don't know
That's
what to say anymore at this point.
that's why I wouldn't be opposed to us going to get Lonzo Ball in the offseason, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, I like that too. Like we talked about, I think it gives you a good point of attack defender at the point guard spot. He's lengthy, he's a good distributor, he's selfless, and I think him and Dragic are a perfect complement to each other. I think their skill sets really overlap very well. Dragic's come in, give you that scoring punch off the bench, kind of run that second unit. And I just think Miami, and I'm really happy with the development of Precious Achua so far.
Yeah,
So I'm
he's been a bright spot for Miami in this early season,
definitely.
and
That's the energy that we need from everybody else. I think, and he's getting the respect in the locker room early. He's a hard worker, and Miami, they're going to pick a certain type of guy. You go back to Bam. I mean, you go back to Hero. The Hero's a gym rat. I mean, you say what you want. He's a little flashy or whatever, but the guy's a grinder, man. The guy is there. He's working.
it's
He's
not
all up
that
in that culture.
it's not that. It's just that he's a rookie. He's still young. He's not. But I think Miami's hurting him in his development, trying to make him a point guard. They need to go back
Yeah.
to what they were doing last year, running him off screens and stuff like that. Because
Mhm.
he's a scorer. He's a scorer.
Right.
He's a shot creating scorer
Like
guy.
Duncan Robinson too. He
Yeah.
has very unique things that he brings to the offense as an off the ball option, as a mover, and he's getting a little bit more of a mid range game, Duncan Robinson. So I think that's going to help, along with Bam, kind of giving you some different scoring levels to attack defenses with. So I think they'll get right. They've got to clean up and just sort of play Miami Heat basketball with the 48 minutes of energy, knocking guys around a little bit more physical,
Yeah.
which I think as their bodies round back into playing shape after the shortened off season and no real preseason, I think that Miami has definitely
Yeah,
play.
Miami will be okay, but I'm just saying, and the Mohawkless experiment has been terrible, by the way.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. So you just
Mm.
got to kind of find some different. But Kelly Olynyk, I think, has given you some good minutes in his role. So there's been
Eh,
some pleasant surprises and there's been some disappointments.
And,
So
and,
you kind of just
and,
it's sort of a wash right now.
and you need him to play well, so when we trade him, we'll be all right.
Yeah, exactly. So, a lot to talk about here. So, we're going to definitely be watching it closely over the weekend and make sure to check back with the network. Of course, we're going to have five on the floor with your in depth pregame and postgame Heat coverage as well. And we're going to jump off here. I want to thank everybody for spending some time with us at the Miami Sports Break. And we'll be back probably on Tuesday next week
We're
with a lot
gonna
more
we're
updates.
gonna have some more guests coming up soon, guys. So just be on the lookout for that. Also follow our work at Dave W Eversol and me at King Jock 24. Also our IG page, the Miami Sports Break MIA Sports Break. So we'll have a lot more coming up, but we thank you guys and we thank all our supporters.
Yeah, thank everybody.